This just blew my mind completely. If you're an accountant or a bookkeeper, you are going to love this. So one of the issues that I've been wrestling with for a while is how do we take unstructured data? Let's take, for example, you've got a whole bunch of invoices from a client for, let's say, out-of-pocket expenses, things they've paid for out of their own personal pocket. And we need to get them into the accounting system, whether that's Xero, Sage, QuickBooks. And so normally the old-fashioned way would be to go through and open up all the invoices, put them into perhaps an Excel spreadsheet, and then upload them. But how can we do that in seconds? Well, I've been wrestling with that for a while, and a partial solution I came across some months ago was when in July of 2025, OpenAI released agent mode. And one of the things that I created back then was a prompt for agent mode, which would do exactly that, analyze out-of-pocket expenses. It was quite a long prompt, and it did work reasonably well. The problem with, if you use this prompt, if you're part of my AI Academy, the only challenge with this is twofold. Number one, if we're using ChatGPT and agent mode, it can be quite slow to go through and open up invoices and analyze them all and build an Excel spreadsheet. It did do it, but it was slow. Second, the other problem is one of the limitations of ChatGPT is the number of files that we can put into, we can upload as part of a chat or put into a project. And to some extent we can get around that because we could use the connector and hook up to, let's say, our Google workspace. Anyway, there's now a fantastic solution to that using a completely different tool, which is free. And it's currently one of my top 3 favorite AI tools. It's NotebookLM. It's Google's tool. Now, it's great for so many reasons, and I would strongly recommend that if you are not using it, you need to start using it. Every accounting firm, every bookkeeping firm should be using NotebookLM because it's got some other amazing use cases, such as tax research. But one of the features that came out in December 2025, which I think you're going to really love, is when they brought out a new feature which they called data tables. So let me just quickly show you. What I did was I tested with, I've got a folder and it's just full of invoices. It's full of out-of-pocket expenses. And so I went into NotebookLM, let me just switch across to it, and I created a brand new notebook. And on the left-hand side, and I'm going to just assume for now that you have seen NotebookLM, so I'm going through fairly fast. I will tell you in a little while how, if you want to understand more about NotebookLM, how you can do exactly that. But what I did is I opened up on the sources pane. I just clicked Add Sources, and I dragged in all of the invoices. And they're over on the left-hand side here. And one of the great things about NotebookLM is you can upload 50 sources on the free plan, which is good enough for most people. But if you go to the Pro plan, then you can upload 300 sources, which is what I've got. And they've started to bundle in the Pro plan if you, for example, are paying for a Google Workspace, which I am. So I have the Pro plan. You can see it says Pro in the top right. Anyway, on the free plan, you've still got 50. So I put those in to NotebookLM. I then asked a quick prompt. I just said, the sources are all invoice and expenses for business expenses paid for personally. If I wanted to analyze these in a data table, can you tell me what would be the most useful fields? And it gave me a whole bunch of different fields that I might want to put into an Excel spreadsheet. All fairly simple stuff, things like the gross amount, the sales tax, description, and so on. Anyway, I thought I'd see what it told me I should do. Now, here's where the magic happens, because on the right-hand side, we then have the studio. So the left is our sources, the information that we provide. In the middle, we have our conversation, our chat, like we would with ChatGPT. But then we can do some interesting things in the studio. And some of these things are amazing, like audio overviews. They've been around for a while now in NotebookLM, although they have recently improved them significantly. There are some new things like infographics and slide decks, which are amazing, which we'll talk about in another video. But they've just launched in the last few days, as I'm filming this, data tables. And this is where I think, for if you're an accountant or a bookkeeper, this is going to blow your mind, because it opens up so many possibilities. What is a data table? Well, it's a table. And so if we click on the pencil icon, we can then put in a prompt. What information do we want to put into an organized format? And so what it does, it will take whatever we've put into the sources, it will run a prompt and organize them. And so that's exactly what I did. And so I've got here my analyzed data table. If I just click on the three dots, I can see the prompt that I use. So let me just show you the prompt first. I just simply said, build a data table from all of the sources, which is the invoices I uploaded. Build a data table from all of the sources using the following fields. And then I basically copied and pasted what it told me should be the right fields. Now you probably know what are the right fields that you want particularly, especially if you want to then create a CSV file to upload into, for example, QuickBooks. So I just gave a really simple prompt. Give me a data table from the sources, use the following fields. That's it. And I ran that, and in just a few seconds, not minutes, not tens of minutes, but seconds, it then produced my data table. So if I now click on this, it's on the left-hand side, and I can expand this, and we can see all of the data in seconds it put in. It went in and analyzed every single invoice really fast and put it into the data table. Now, there was a potential problem because I'm an accountant and I wanted to check it's accurate, and you should be checking that everything is accurate. So I exported that to a CSV file, opened it up in Excel, and I opened up the folder of the invoices, and I noticed something that was missing. I counted the invoices, I counted the items in the data table, and I realized that the data table was missing 4 documents. Oh dear. Is that a problem? So being an accountant, I went through and opened up each document and compared it to check that what was in the data table was the correct information. And firstly, the good news was, yes, it recorded all the correct information for every single invoice. So that's good news. But this is where it gets better. You see, when I put the files into the folder, you perhaps have experienced this, where if you get an invoice for, let's say, an app by email and it attaches the invoice, sometimes they will give you both an invoice and a receipt. And so sometimes I would put them both into the folder. And what was really interesting, and this completely blew my mind, was that it recognized when there was a duplication. It recognized that the invoice and the receipt on the same date for the same amount from the same person was the same thing. So rather than duplicating and putting them both in the data table, it only put in one of them. In other words, my data table was 100% correct. So I think this has huge numbers of applications, but what I loved about it was A, the accuracy, the simplicity, and thirdly, just the speed at which it did it. So you create your data table, you can export it as a CSV file, and then you could upload it into your accounting software. So let me know in the comments. Tell me in the comments what thoughts are coming to your mind right now. How might you use this feature in NotebookLM? What kind of data might you decide that you want to routinely analyze? And remember, of course, NotebookLM, you can get a free account. Now, if you want to learn more about NotebookLM, I've just completed a course on it. It's in my AI Academy, which is in the school platform. And for a small monthly payment of less than $100, you can get access to dozens and dozens of courses I've created on AI. And I've just finished in the last few days filming a complete course on NotebookLM, where I talk you through every single feature and practical use cases, how we can use it in our business to do some extraordinary things. It really is an amazing tool. You need to be using it. If you found this video useful, please do click the like button. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to get notifications, hit the subscribe button and also the bell so you get told when I upload new videos. And I'll put below some links, including the link to the AI Academy, where you can find out much more about NotebookLM. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you again on another one soon. Bye for now.